Alhamdulillah wa salatu wa salam ala rasulillah ma ba'd. The question is asking, he is being employed by a company as a software engineer and he has tasks that he has been assigned to do. What he does is he gives the work onto somebody else and this saves him time. He pays them for their work. He audits that work, submits it to the person that he's been employed from, and then collects his, salary or wage or payment. Is this allowed or not? Now, there are two types of employment contracts, as we have talked about before, ajir al-mushtarak and ajir al-khas. And you will find this with the ulama in the chapters of buyu'. As for the ajir al-mushtarak, he is a person who is providing a service. As for the ajir al-khas, then he is a person who is being employed. Now, the majority of the ulama have said if you are being employed, ajir al-khas, then you need the permission of the employer for any kind of major decision that you have been employed for. So the Hanafis and the Shafis and the Malikis and the Hanabila, all of them are saying here, if you have been employed, then it's not permissible for you then, because you're being paid to do that work. It's not then permissible for you to say, okay, I'll get someone else to do it. I'll get paid from my employer and I'll pay, another person to do it for cheaper. And this is the view of the majority of the ulama. You need permission from the employer who has employed you to do something, if you were to do it in a manner which is not conventional, which is not agreed in the employment contract. And this is the agreement of all four of the scholars from the madhahib. However, if you are ajir mushtarak, you are providing a service, then as long as that service is being provided, it doesn't matter who completes that work. So Ibn Taymiyyah rahimahullah, this is again found in the madhahib, but this is taken from Sharh Mumti', volume number 10, page 410. Mas'ala, لو أن الإنسان استؤجر على عمل في ذمة, meaning a person has been contracted to do something, get something done, right? Because he is now providing a service. Is he able then to subcontract that work off? So the Shaykh gives an example. A person employs you to clean his house. Can you then, and he gives you 100 riyal a month, okay? Can you then find someone to do it for 50 riyal a month? And you take the 50 and you pay 50 to the other person? He says, يجوز, this is permissible. لأن هذا من جنس ما إذا قلنا إنه يجوز أن يؤجر بقية مدته بأكثر من الأجرة. وعلى هذا أمر الناس اليوم. And the Shaykh is saying here, this is prevalent throughout society today. He says, for example, the government today, meaning the Saudi government, they have got a contract with certain companies to clean the masajid. Those companies then subcontract that on to other companies who then get the job done. And the same happens in construction, the same happens in architecture, the same happens in pretty much all sectors. Therefore, to understand the mas'ala here, the brother now has to understand, is he being employed? If that's the case, then he is, under the permission of his employer. Now, this is something which is really important for us to understand also. He needs permission from the employer, not necessarily his supervisor or manager. And there is a big difference between the two, because the person who owns the company, or the person who makes the decisions for the person who owns the company, that is the person who you are taking money from and you've got a contract with, and if he pays you, then he is the one that is paying you. Let me give you an example. I was employed once to work in an office, like a call center, and the manager used to allow us to do things that I'm pretty sure that the employer would not allow us to do, such as using the printers, such as using internet and things like that. So the manager used to allow us to do these things, but he has not got the authority to allow that to happen. Who is the one that needs to clear that permission? Is the person that is paying you the money, the person who you've got the contract with. The Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, كل جسم نبت النسوة فأولى فالنار أولى بها. Any body which has been nourished with suht, with haram wealth, then the fire, أولى به, is more rightful to it. And the Messenger of Allah said, it's not allowed for us to take something from somebody else's wealth, إلا من طيب نفسه, except that he allows us and he has given us permission. Therefore, if you're Ajir al-Khas, you need permission. And I've got statements here in front of me from the different madhahibs. For example, Ibn Hammam al-Hanafi, he says, فَإِن وُكِّلَ, meaning if you have now been appointed to do a particular job, it is not permissible بِغَيْرِ إِذْنِ مُوكِلِهِ فَعَقِدَ وَكِيلِهِ. It is not permissible for him to do something outside of what he has been employed contractually to do. Imam al-Shafi'i in إذا وكل الرجل بوكالة فليس للوكيل أن يوكل غيره. If a person's got employment contract with another person, it is not permissible for him then to subcontract that onto someone else, because he is Ajir al-Khas. And Dindi al-Maliki, well-known authority in the Maliki madhab, he says something similar. He says, مُنِعَ تَوْكِيلِهِ, meaning it is not permissible for you then to subcontract this onto somebody else, غير المفوض على ما وكل فيه, to give it onto somebody else for what that contract has not been, agreed on. Meaning, the person who's employed you has employed you. He's not employed the other person. So that's the wording there for the Malikiyah. Al-Bahuti al-Hanbali, Kashaf al-Qina', well-known Hanbali book, ليس للوكيل توكل فيما تولى مثله بنفسه إلا بإذن الموكل. Similar to what we were just seeing here before, it is not permissible for him to subcontract or employ someone else to do the work that he has been employed to do. That's Ajir al-Khas. As for the Ajir al-Mushtarak, then he is being paid to get the job done, and as long as the job gets done, all parties are happy and he is able to subcontract that on if he is able to find someone that is suitable. But he must make sure that what he hands in and what he submits is according to the criterion that has been set down in the contract initially. And if it isn't, then the person who has got the contract with you has the ability to have khiyar. Now, this is a different mas'ala, and it's a different set of conditions of khiyar, but khiyar basically means that the person has the choice of to carry on with the contract and pay you for your work or not. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He gives us the best of understanding of His religion, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives us halal rizq, which is tayyib, in the dunya and also in the akhirah. هذا والله أعلم. صلى الله على نبينا محمد.